everybody. Welcome back to Dat Fury Radio. I'm Howie Howard from Mr. Furious Records, joined again by Stik Figa. What's going on, Stik?
It's Stik Figa, man.
Still, once again.
Yeah.
Got another question for you, more open-ended this time.
Okay.
Listeners, when you hear this, if you go back 2 weeks, Stik and I talked about the rap music in 2025 and what's going on with it. And I think we got somewhere. I got somewhere.
Yeah. You discovered something about yourself.
Learned something. But this question's about you.
Okay. Oh.
And it's not, again, we're not trying to break any news here or anything. I'm going to ask this more on a personal level, kind of in a headspace level than, releases and projects. Mm-hmm. And it's just, where are you with your writing in life? What's going on? What's resonating with you in terms of process or subject matter or collaborations or being alone? Just what's the state of your creativity?
Oh man, that's a good question. I would say I really just am writing as it comes to me. I used to have a very workman-like mentality to it, where it was likely because I was chasing something. I was chasing the idea of a traditional career in it. So I kind of had gotten to a headspace where it was like, I have to write a rhyme every day. I have to record something every day. I need to at least be doing this and that every day. And that had its place. It's just like a practice or a ritual, so to speak.
You build those muscles, yeah.
Yeah, or just think of words or, think of concepts and ideas. And that doesn't go away, but now I've kind of relaxed into a place of real inspiration, like where if I feel I have something worth saying, I'll write it down, as opposed to trying to force myself to write things. And that doesn't even necessarily mean that it's like highly topical or anything like that.
Sure.
Like I might be in a fun mood or a silly mood and just want to write something silly or funny or something I would think would be funny together. That is probably really more the answer, where it's like I'm more in like a comedic space, which is very like more square one for me. And when I first started, like my first rap name was Tomfoolery, because it was just like it was all just foolishness and jokes and good time rhymes. And then as I got older, I started feeling as if like oh man, they're not taking me serious as an MC. Like, I got things to say. I got important things to say. I have important things on my mind. So I didn't force that, but it wasn't entirely natural either. It was like I got to. It's a dude. I was dutiful. You know what I mean? Like that's probably the word for it. Like I was dutiful. I was like, I have a duty to say these things, and I need people to take me seriously. So you get a lot of records out of that are, they work, and some people like them, some people don't. But my original inspiration was always like having a good time with it. So I'm kind of more there. Like if I'm inspired to put something together, I do. So there are records that'll be coming out soon that do a little bit of both. Let's say I got a record coming out with Sean P called Small Fortune. And the reason I called it that is because it's one of those aphorisms that always resonates, like a small fortune. It's not a lot to someone else, but it's a lot to you. That's kind of where I feel I am today, as far as careers are concerned, or, the pursuit is concerned. Like, I don't have a ton of fame or recognition, but
the pursuit, I love that.
Yeah, but but I am having this conversation with you, and it means something to me. And the people who do reach out to me, and the people who do care, and just more of a gratitude position is where I'm coming from these days. So that's what that title and mentality represents about me right now. Like I have songs joking about girls or whatever, and then I got songs about disappointment, but it's more balanced. It's not like all of one thing or the other,
Yeah.
Where a lot of time I think rappers have so much invested in their personas. I was asked in another interview, I'm glad you asked me this because it reminded me, somebody was like, man, so like what's your like thing, like what's your thing? And I'm just like, I'm not sure what you mean by that. He's like, like they got personas, like Ludacris had his hair out wild, and it was like rapping sex raps and yada dee, and Redman smokes weed, and Snoop is cool, and he's cool and lanky and he's playful, like your thing. What's your thing? And I'm just like, I never got a good grasp on that marketing idea, or the importance of that. Like I never really grabbed hold of it the way that someone who's a professional, like, no, it's not they're professionals,
Right?
They're operating in a space that requires that. Eminem is like, he's crazy, he's white, he's beating his mom, he's crazy, like he's still, like he finally can, like his mom died in real life, and he finally was like able to make a song about like how he actually liked his mom, or even though they had hard times, he loves her. But like the through line through his career, like he had to have some reference to the fact that his mom did drugs or whatever. Like, these personas that help you sell records. I never got there. So I'm kind of relieved in a way of that duty of, coming up with a thing, because I don't sell a lot of records.
And you've always so there's compromise involved in choosing that persona, right? And that's not, I don't mean a negative connotation with that, but there is a choice. Mm-hmm. And you've always chosen to really present a very multifaceted, many different sides of yourself, right? The funny side, the introspective side, the side that has something to say, the side that's just talking shit, It's always, all those sides have basically always been there.
Yeah. And it's hard for people.
And that's very hard to condense down into a marketable persona.
Yeah, that's hard for people. It's hard. It's hard to be dynamic. It's hard to be dynamic with restraints. Yeah. And that's not saying I'm dynamic. It's just an observation that I've made. Like it's difficult. Like if you find a container to just put it all in, something might have to go.
Yeah. Or leak out the side, right? I could see you.
Yeah.
You would need a side project immediately. Like if you did condense down, you would need a mask and a side project that goes the opposite direction.
And that might be like, as I get older, I was like, I know, my MF Doom time is coming. I don't know what the name of it will be like, but somebody else was saying they're retiring there. Was it The Weeknd? Somebody was saying.
Yeah, he was saying this is going to be his last record.
As The Weeknd,
Yeah.
And a lot of, that's the thing in hip hop though, where like a lot of guys are so concerned with brand that it's like, well, Snoop can't not be Snoop. Like Snoop can't not, like it so much is predicated on the fact that he smokes weed. Like, you know how many jokes, like if he goes on SNL, have to get written surrounding weed? I'm sure he does other things.
They did it on the Olympics.
They did it on the Olympics.
They made those jokes.
he lit a blunt on the Olympic torch, and I was like, that's cool. Like, I'm positive there's more to Snoop than I bet if I asked his wife if he snored.
Yeah.
Or if he was, grumpy, or he likes certain oatmeal or whatever the heck. You know what I'm saying? So it's more to Snoop than the fact that he smoked weed. But that's kind of the thing that's made the money, So
That's the product.
So that time will come.
And again,
mm-hmm.
not a negative
shot.
thing necessarily, but some people have an easier time living with that, and that's kind of the day job, right? And you go and you show up, you do the work, and you go home, where you can be a more complete person. And other people, even doing it for a period of time every day, it's just harder.
It's just harder.
Doesn't feel good.
Yeah, like I look at it. A lot. I've gotten the opportunity to, like, even in the independent scene, like, kind of see behind the scene, and that it's not that different. Like, a lot of guys are creating personas and finding very, like, rigid ways in doing a thing, and it just never appealed to me. Even when I tried it, it just was like, this doesn't fit. This doesn't fit what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm gonna make a City Under the City type record, which is like super experimental, and then I'm gonna make a Bay Area sounding record because that's something I like too. Or I'm gonna make a very East Coast sounding record, or I'm gonna make a very, like, because I just can't. Yeah, it's just difficult. I can't just pick. Like, I want to be able to express myself in as many mediums as possible. And that's something else I was just telling Marty. I was like, bro, I texted him randomly. I was just like, man, I don't want to keep making these true school hip hop records. And he was joking with me like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I was like, I mean, I do like
every other one, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's like, I love the true school, real hip hop stuff. Like, it's how I got here. But it's also like, sometimes I don't want to do that at all. Like, I want to do something. Yeah. I might want to make a noise record. I might want to make something like clipping or something. Who knows? You know what I mean? I think the closest person that I look at and I say I like the way they get down is Danny Brown. Because every record is different. Every record's different, and every record is him still at the same time somehow. Like, that's the dope stuff to me. You know what I mean? That's what I like. And I think I think that's another thing that attracts me to Kendrick Lamar is, like, every record has a different sound and, like, message to it, or a facet.
Very different.
Or a facet. It's like To Pimp the Butterfly sounds nothing like the Damn record, and Damn sounds nothing like. Outkast was another one of those groups or artists that did that for me too. It was like every time they came back out, it was something else, but it was still them. So I think that appeals to me more, and I know it's a less common attempt though, in genre.
Yeah. So back to your like actual writing, you're kind of saying you're writing when you get in the mood or when you feel something. Is that, do you have a practice, or is that just an intuitive thing? You hear something in your imagination, you think in your mind, you feel in your body somewhere. Like, how do you know it's time to write?
It's a little bit of both. It's like sometimes I just sit at the pad and look at it, and I'm just like trying to figure out what I want to put on it. And then other times I'm just out and about, living, shopping, or hanging out with my kids, or hanging out with my wife, or whatever. And then like a pairing of words just appears in my mind, and I think it's something. And I put it in my phone real quick because I'm like, I never heard. The big thing is, if it comes in my head, is like, have I heard somebody say it already?
Right.
That's the biggest one. Because I listen to a lot of music, so I'm just always trying to make sure, like, who said that already, or has someone flipped this idea this way yet. And I kind of just, like I said, put it in my phone real quick, write it on my hand real quick. And then when I get some more time to myself, I'll go back to those pieces and be like, oh, that could be a cool idea for this, you know? And then the process begins. Then it's like, all right, now I'm writing and I'm revising and it's forming and it's becoming a shape, you know, a rhyme about something, you know, even if it's about a girl with flat ass. It's like, what is this rhyme about? It's about a girl with flat ass. All right, cool. That's what this is about to be.
That's
cool.
The story, yeah.
Cool. This is where we going, you know. And sometimes
when you get that first grip,
yeah, and then sometimes
you got
it's
something
like,
to work with.
And then sometimes you write, it's like, all right, this is about my car, and then it becomes, oh man, suddenly this is about displacement. Oh, how'd that happen?
Right.
Okay. Here we are. It must have been important. It must have been on your mind. So, you know, round the edges on it, start chopping away at the wood and try to get something out of it. So yeah, that's been my process lately. It's what comes into mind and
it's wild how similar we are creatively in a lot of ways. And actually we're the same age too, or born in the same
You're 82?
year at least. I'm 82. I'm probably older. I'm January.
January. You older than me by the months. But yeah, 80s babies, man.
It's also, are you intentionally referencing stuff we've done? So you talked about the car and I did the bucket remix.
Yeah, the bucket. Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying.
And then we're talking about, I don't know, I'll cut this if this is not content, because I did not send this to you as content. But a couple months ago, I wrote you the email about how,
yes,
one of your songs came on when I was working out.
Yeah, for sure.
Should we tell that story?
Yeah, go ahead and tell it.
So I wrote, you'll have to do the lines.
I'm in the...
But I sent Stik this email.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Subject line: Stik Figa ruined my workout.
Yeah.
And I linked to the track. It's a track you did with Miles Bonney called Do Rags.
Yes.
And
yes.
I had been doing. The email says, I lost my count and I safely collapsed at this line. And I think I was doing pull-ups and I just like lost my grip and fell to the floor.
Yeah. Okay, what bar was it though? It was
the bar, oh, forgive me for what I'm about to do here.
It was
but the bar is, I said, fuck this rap shit, I'd rather listen to Prince, chase a fat chick that got the ass with the dents.
Yeah.
And I just knew, listeners, there's so much love behind that line. And you feel, I'll link to the track, you feel it if you listen to the song. That line is said with love, but it is so
with love, because I mean it 100%. So because what's funny about that is when me and Miles, because Miles had just reached out to me, we hadn't worked in a while, but we stay in touch. Like, that's my man forever. But like, he was like, man, you want to do something? I was like, yeah. And I like had come up with the Jewel Ave John persona or idea, because I was like, man, what if I got rid of the Stik Figa name? And that's why, like, if you look at the artwork, like my face is covered, it's really silly, and it's like I got the mask with the shades on, you know, like it's like supposed to be something else. But I went into it like, man, it's about to be jokes. This is about to be jokes. And Beitan from Slum Village has a, you know, legendary line where he's like, fuck this rap shit, I listen to classical or the musical, is it that you would know, niggas in love with the S. I always liked that, because I was like, because when I was used to listen to Slum Village, I used to get the same feeling, like we were in the same boat, where it was like, yo, man, you guys take yourselves way too seriously. Like this rap game, like these real hip hop dudes, like they're taking it way too serious. So I used to really like that song. So that's where I was like flipping that, like, yo, this rap shit. Rather listen to Prince, check a fat chick got with the dents. And I mean that though. Like, I don't, this is not shaming of any kind. This is
absolutely, yeah. And it's perfect. it's
Foolish.
constructed. The line is constructed perfectly as a joke too, because the surprise is dense.
Yeah.
Right. That's the joy. That's the little pop of.
Yeah.
And it's the last syllable of the whole. So the whole thing
The
sets
whole
it up
rhyme,
perfect
yeah.
joke structure, and then
Well,
you get the
for that,
payoff
too,
at the
'cause
very end.
Thank you for that, because I'm dabbling with that too. I was like, I want to write a type 5 one day. See how far I get.
Oh, you
without
would
getting
kill.
ruined.
You'd be so good at that.
I want to believe it. I want to write a type 5. I've been telling myself that for too long. I was like, I'm gonna finally do it. I'm gonna go to somebody's open mic and get some of these jokes off when I get the opportunity.
You can do it.
I believe it. Thank you.
It's got to be a lot the same as writing a song, right? Where you find that entry point.
Yeah.
And then you spiral off from there.
Find it and strike that nerve with the funny, for sure.
I believe in you. You could definitely do that.
Humbled. Thank you. A type 5.
Stik Figa comedy career coming
up. It'll be a new name, but it's never too late, right? They say a lot of guys
you could
don't get
maybe
started.
use Jewel Avenue John.
Hey, you know what? It's already out there. Searchable.
It's out there.
It's searchable. You can Google Jewel Ave John. Only thing's gonna come up is me. So there you go. But yeah, man, that's where it comes from, though. It's just like, also just like making sure it's more myself. I'm really there right now too. Like reading rhymes back and just being like, "Would you really use that? That's how you would say? That's something a rapper would say." Kind of thing. Like I'm trying to separate that more and more. Like, is that a rapper thing or is that a John thing? Is that a Stik thing? Like, is that your thing? Just making sure. That's where a lot of revisions are coming from for me too. Is like, it doesn't necessarily even have to be like negative or positive. It just has to be like, I have to connect with it. Like, that's how you feel. You do feel like that. You do like to grow. You do like the ass with the dents. You do. Like I can read it back. You do. It's okay. You do. Yeah. You have never been.
Great.
You've never been in a Maybach, and you really don't care that much about it either. So, don't say that. Don't say anything about a Maybach.
Is that a real revision?
Nah, I'm just saying.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, that's never happened. I never been able to lie that good. But
that's a cartoon example.
That's a cartoon example. Yeah, that's like an exaggerated version of what something that could happen. Or like I think about like, all right, so I'm 42. And rappers in my space are like all like mafioso rappers, like tough guy, like on boom bap beats right now. Or I was just like, if I got featured on a song, which I would never turn it down, but I'd be like, what am I gonna say? Am I gonna try to like fit in with this guy at 40 years old? That seems weird. Like, you're a grown man. That would be weird. Like, nah, son, I'm from New York now, and I'm gonna do the New York rap thing. Like, nah, I'd have to find a way to be myself, and that's kind of just where I'm at with it. Like, if I'm to be who I am, what does that look like on paper, and what does that look like, and how I present? So. That's a lot of it.
Well, I love it. I'm excited to hear what you've been cooking up.
Thank you.
Listeners, you can.
I might send you the early listen.
Oh, well, I'd be honored. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, let's send that to you.
But if you're listening, you can find Stik at Stik_Figa. That's STIK_FIGA.
You got it.
And I will link to many of the things in the show notes and description so that you can know right away when stuff starts to come out later this year.
Absolutely.
But Stik, we appreciate your time. We love talking to you. This won't be the last time, I hope.
It won't.
And
it won't.
I just thank you for real. Thank you for.
Man, thank you.
Your thoughtful engagement with my questions tonight.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the chance to do it. I appreciate it.
Stay tuned next week for I don't know what, another great show on Dat Fury Radio.
Right on. Peace.
Later, everybody.